Patrick Bateman possesses everything we're supposed to want. An expensive home in a desirable location, a high-paying job in a reputable company, a perfect physique carved from a rigorous exercise routine, fashionable attire, an attractive fiancé, like-minded friends, and a lifestyle that places him in only the most exclusive bars, clubs, and restaurants. Yet despite having what everyone supposedly wants, beneath his desirable exterior, he feels nothing but anger, emptiness, and disgust. The world he inhabits has no interest in who he really is, how he really feels, or what he really thinks, and the feeling is mutual. He and his supposed friends are void of consumption and greed, ready to backstab and betray one another at a moment's notice, as they're only truly interested in whatever serves their insatiable lust for more. Although you might suspect that American Psycho only exists to hold a mirror up to the ugliness of Wall Street, as a character, Patrick Bateman reflects the same narcissistic, shallow instincts that reside somewhere within each of us. And even though we may not share his bank account, that doesn't mean we don't share his habits, as the modern world encourages us to feed into the same validation-seeking systems of conformity, and using it to nourish our deep-rooted need to feel accepted and belong.
Because I want to fit in.
In his first voiceover in the movie, Patrick identifies himself using the following description. I live in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street, on the 11th floor. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I'm always fascinated by the ways in which we introduce ourselves and what it says about us. In Bateman's case, the building he lives in takes priority and comes first, as that's what establishes his status. Then his name comes in second, as where he lives says more about him than just another name. And then in third, his age, which only underlines his status more, as he lives in an affluent building at just 27 years old. Think of the limited details you use to define yourself on different platforms. Name, job title, location, possibly your nationality, ethnicity, age, hobbies, interests, the number of followers you have, whether you've got a blue checkmark next to your name or not. Then think of the details you conveniently leave out. What we prioritize signals what we want people to know about us, but it's also a means of controlling how they perceive us. The most common example of this in the modern world is dating apps, where we condense the key information about ourselves into a brief, superficial sales pitch for what a romantic life with us could be like. You put in your best photos in the best light that sell a certain lifestyle, and avoid saying anything divisive that might cause a knee-jerk rejection. Because these decisions are made in an instant, this makes the process not really about telling the full truth, but trying to appeal to the largest number of people possible. Therefore, you're incentivized to only express the broadest, most generically attractive qualities about yourself. And in order to do so, you need to culturally identify what most people like, and then superficially adapt yourself into something semi-resembling that mold. Patrick does the same thing. He dresses and looks like someone out of a magazine, the person you're meant to want to look like, that will appeal to the most people. And given he's surrounded by like-minded friends, he also looks like all of them, to the point they regularly mistake him for someone else. This is because by trying to belong and fit in, you sacrifice a part of yourself that makes you more interchangeable with anyone else playing the same game. Because now you're not just you're a type of person that likes certain types of things. The modern world capitalizes on this instinct, with trending pages conditioning you to conform, twisting your mind into the exact type of person that they can sell products to. Targeted ads then collectivize you into a pool of people who are more likely to like the same things, and all just happen to express their own unique identity in the exact same way. Even content is recommended to you not just based on what you watch, but what people who watch similar stuff to you also watch, and you're then invited to join them like a collective hive mind. We define ourselves by what we consume, the car we drive, the products we use, the people we date, the labels on our clothes. But it's not just in how we try to look, but how we try to sound. As products of our environment, just like Patrick, we will unconsciously begin to sound like the voices we hear most often. We'll use the same phrases, the same tones and inflections. But beyond that, it's not just how it sounds, but the content of what's said. Are your opinions even your own, or are they just parroted talking points you heard somewhere else that you think sound good? Part of what we value about artists and writers is their ability to convey a feeling that we've already felt for us. They give us the language and tools to express a part of ourselves, which emotionally connects us to them. This then becomes part of our identity, using other people's expression as a token of our own, just like this video is technically doing with American Psycho right now. Bateman frequently regurgitates these long-winded, memorized critiques about popular music that no one else is interested in, but that make him sound like he appreciates things on a deeper level, while distracting from his sinister intentions. Even his political insights are empty platitudes, phonily paying lip service to the idea of ending world hunger, solving apartheid, and fighting for racial justice and women's rights, essentially virtue signaling the powerful message that we need more good things and less bad things, while physically contributing nothing positive to the world around him.
We have to provide food and shelter for the homeless, and oppose racial discrimination and promote civil rights.
But of course, this is Patrick wearing a political worldview like it's a product in itself, something fashionable that adds to his brand. As Patrick states in his opening monologue, he's more of an illusory abstraction than a person, an aspect of human identity that shows us something ugly about ourselves. American Psycho's message is that in America, appearances are all that matter. As long as someone like Bateman appears to be a successful, good-looking winner with the right opinions, then who really cares what he's doing behind closed doors? Characters often witness clear signs of his crimes right in front of them, but instead get distracted by the veneer of the product it's wrapped in or the excitement of the restaurant he might bring them to if they just play their cards right. Now we can scoff at the vapid superficiality of Patrick Bateman and his associates, that he's practically on the verge of tears at the idea of not having a good table to be seen at in a high-end restaurant. But our social media habits reflect these same insecurities. How many photos do you take to find one that's just right? We may not be able to afford to eat in these same restaurants every night, but whenever we do, we check in and post the proof that we're now part of that club too, and we fit right in here. We can laugh at the petty one-upmanship, competing and comparing ever so slightly different business cards, all just variations of white, each detail mattering so much to each man as a symbol of his individual identity. But when you zoom out as a collective, they're all virtually identical. But is this really any different to our social media posts? We all take the same photos in the same places with just slight variations, all chasing some form of authenticity by following in the footsteps of everyone else. As just like Patrick Bateman's world, our social media world exists to literally follow others, to check into the same clubs, to show off where we work, where we've been, what we've eaten, who we've eaten with. Even our trips away, it's not about how the trip felt, it's about what it looked like, as no one wants to know the ugly truth underneath when the image itself is so appealing, as part of us wants to be sold on this enviable lifestyle so we can try to replicate it. We're hardwired to want what everyone else wants. The most attractive partner, the highest paying job, the coolest clothes, the most exotic destinations, and the most exclusive restaurants. But in this process, this never-ending quest for constant validation under the guise of self-improvement, we're driving ourselves mad, setting unrealistic expectations for how we should look, where we should be, and how much we should make, as there's always someone, somewhere, doing something better than you. As by focusing so much on how his life looks, rather than how it feels, Patrick Bateman buries his true identity under a mountain of products and services, until the only expression of his own individuality he has left is his ability to destroy. And even then, with his raging psychopathy bubbling to the surface, when he openly confesses to his crimes, no one believes him or cares. In this narcissistic environment, these cutthroat instincts only make him blend in even more, as every other self-interested suit in the room has likely had these same dark thoughts, hidden behind their slimy smiles and carefully crafted haircuts. So if you feel like your authenticity is slipping away, that you're looking to others to tell you what to do, what to think, where to eat, and what to wear, and the more you consume externally, the sicker and sicker you begin to feel internally, then one day soon you might just look in the mirror and finally realize,
I'm Patrick Bateman.
Now if you made it this far, firstly, thank you for watching, but I need you to give the video a like, perhaps even drop a comment depending on your mood, and definitely subscribe so the algorithm will do its thing. And if you want to support the channel personally, you can check out my Patreon.